What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 11 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Imrik Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Imrik took on the next of the dragons, Shakalot, the Calamity Controller of the undead, who, similar to the rest, did fall to Imrik at the end of the day, and he was not the only, well, I mean, I guess the dragon itself wasn't undead, but the force was not the only undead force that we took on, as Helman Gorst gave us a lovely battle against a massive pile of zombies, skeletons, and assorted other units. 'Twas a lovely time, but I fear that Gorsty won't be showing up anymore, as I think we broke his main stack, and the faction probably won't recover. It's got 3 territories, we're near to them, and we should be able to take them out relatively shortly. But anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time, well, other than going after Gorst and trying to knock him out, the rats are continuing to be a menace with their armies all over the place, and that's just, I think, the tip of the Ratberg, as we've got so many more to deal with that we can't even see. And we'll have to try doing that. But anyway, let's start doing stuff in order, shall we? Fayadian, you're first. You're going to move to Mount Silver Spear because Crookback Mountain can defend itself. The raiding is also really causing problems for us, as it's causing negative public order, and that ain't such a good thing. Arathon. You, my friend, we're going to Sildrator, and I do imagine that it'll be auto-resolvable here. Stay in Noble Prestige, go to Sildrator. Wish we had another Lord to have taken this, but yeah, our money situation's too much of a problem right now. Auto-resolve that, and little enough damage, and Sildrator will be ours as well. Still not 100% sure we'll be holding on to these of Marathi's former territories, but we'll see. Belherathoi, who currently has the sort of resupply, refit, retrofit army for Arathon, you're going to move into Petrified Forest, and then the two of you together will hit the ancient city of Quintex, I guess, the turn after next. Yeah, while the Eagle Claws should have no problem in knocking down the walls. And oh yeah, we wanted to wait 2 turns anyway, because this place is going to be tier 4 by then. And it's better to take it at tier 3 rather than at tier 2, especially considering growth here will be pretty much non-existent. And if we should choose to keep it, and Quintex does have a, let's say, decent landmark. Income from all buildings, all regions and province. Even a red territory can make us a ton of money if we let it like this. There's certainly a reason to keep it. But anyway, I digress. Actually, speaking of digressing a little bit, you know what, let's name some of these units. I mean, pretty much the entirety of Arathon's army is going to be named. Let's name maybe, I don't know, half of them or something like that. Start this, the Talon's Shadow for one of the Reaper Bolt, or Eagle Claw Bolt throwers. Yes. Talon's Shadow, you can be the Raptor's Screech. And maybe do one more. How about Silverin Salvo? There we go. Very nice names. Next up, I guess we can name a few of the eagles as well. Might as well. We got a lot of eagle names. Not as many as dragon names, of course, but still plenty. Okay, so we got like a bunch of variations on this. Thorondor's Flock, Thorondor's Descendants, Thorondor's Heirs. It doesn't really... Alright, Thorondor's Flock it is, but Thorondor is something. Apparently everybody loves the Lord of the Rings eagles, so you'll be that. Next up, you'll be the Quadbeak Crew. And Screech. Love it. And well, let's just do all of them in here. We've got more eagles in Arathon's army already that we can name afterwards. And you can be Gwaihir's Beaks, and add some more Lord of the Rings time. Beakers. Gwaihir's Beaks, there we go. I hope I'm spelling everything correctly. I guess we'll see. Alright, let's name a couple of the Silvern Guard while we're at it. Talon Princes... Oh, this is not going to fit, is it? One letter short. Talon Prince's Silver Guard. I mean, we can just pretend this apostrophe is there. And that'll fit. Or we can do this. Talon Prince... Oh, wait. Talon Prince... Just pretend the S is there. Either one works. I'm gonna say pretend the apostrophe is there, or it's gonna bother me. There we go, good enough. Oh, that character limit. Why do lords get 2 lines and units only get the 1? You can be the Gleaming Watch. How about, okay, the Last Defense. And this should be about half of them. The Eagle Guard. Alright, good enough. We'll name the other half maybe next episode. I have most of the names for them. Oh, speaking of, everybody wants to name the Silverian Guard. How about some of the Lothern Sea Guard? There will be plenty of these guys. Solid unit and definitely going to be quite useful, so they'll need names. Architect Luaran, you're up next, but I don't think you actually are up next because you don't need to move. Itilnai. With the Lothern Sea Guard. Alright, so you're still chasing this little rat army, eh? Alright, I'm gonna put you into ambush and just try to get close to the rat army. Maybe if you manage to pull this off, the ambush off, they won't know you're there and they won't run from you and then you can kill them off. Really, we just need this army dead so that we can start moving back here and start fighting the rats. Lair. You're supposed to move into Tilnai's army. And so we'll do so at the earliest opportunity, and I believe that is that. We're good to go to end turn. Skip, 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 and go. And once again, while the turn is ending, we did make the engagement threshold. I mean, we're still relatively early in the campaign, so unsurprising, but yes. Oh. Mazda, you've ended our non-aggression pact, Mazda. Don't do it, man. Don't you do it. Erathon is right beside you, and if you make him, he will prove once and for all why dinosaurs evolved into birds. But anyway, yeah, I don't like this. Hopefully we don't get forced into a fight with Mazda, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, we reached the engagement threshold, so hour-long episode-ish this time around, and the offer still stands as usual, 400 likes and 50 comments. Wait, no, we're down to 300 likes now? No, we're still at 400 likes. We get to episode 13 for the 300 like threshold. Yes, 400 likes, 50 comments, next episode, hour long. Beautiful. Turn has ended, and ooh, the draining winds. That's the bad one. Growth minus 20 for all provinces for 5 turns. I know it doesn't seem like much, but in SFO, this is actually horrible, and especially for certain factions that don't grow nearly as much. Hey, look at that. Our gambit paid off. Wait. Yes, I want to be rewarded. Control, and okay, there's the buff for profit. We just need to kill 10,000. Hey, you know what would have been great game if we had got this last turn when we took on Gorst with his like million, when there's a million zombies there. You can't reach Gorst, that's a shame. Oh well. What do we have here? And when we fought the rats as well. Wait, the ambush didn't fail, but this rat army's still running? Where the heck's it going? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, this rat army's gonna get annoying. Okay, try to chase it down again. I really didn't want to peel you even further away from what's going on over here. And in fact, Cake has nearly a full stack. But I do wonder if he's actually getting bothered trying to go for Mount Silver's Spear. Well, either way, Lair, you're gonna head into this army. Tilnai's army, I mean. And this stack is full, but it will still need a wizard, though we don't have enough influence to get a decent one. Anyway, we gotta try to get towards profit, so killing the rats would be real good for that sort of thing, if we can make it. Phaedian has an Athilmar chariot now. It offers her no additional speed, and in fact, while we're fighting the rats... I'm inclined to say maybe we keep the steed. On the other hand, the chariot is much more heavily armored. You know what, let's try the chariot. We'll see how it works out for her. I really wish I knew what else was in this army. I'm tempted to get another regiment of renown and just try to take this on. Because, like, all of the clan rats and scaven slaves are no problem for Phaedian. She should be able to take them out, but... if there's better stuff in there, it might not be as easy. But anyway, for now, Imrik, let's start with you, sir. The Haunted Forest, what do we have in here? Honestly, not much. Well, I guess we'll have to move next turn. Alright, you're gonna go here, Arwen. I'm gonna have Imrik attack this rather than you. We're gonna have to loop back around to Knobbly Gorge and to Shambletown, so go like so. Takes all of his movement anyway, and yeah, honestly, this I think will auto-resolve. It won't kill anything, and the enemy has no chance here. A decent amount of cash, though. And occupy the place. How much more? Bartered a Thilmar steed for Arwenel. Great. How much of the profit did that allow us to complete? Ooh, Omen of our Assyrian Arcane Phoenix. That's a real strong one. Expensive, though. Ah! Wait, we got the Elven Forge, which will allow us to build Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers here, as well as Tyrannok Chariots and the maxed out Silverhelm building. You know what? Keep this for now. Don't collect the income. Go into Tribute to the Phoenix King for a little while you have the Vampiric Corruption, which should over time fall. And build the Exotic Animal Tamer. We might keep these. I wanted to get some Tyrannok Chariots into an army with Sisters of Avalorn and some other things, because, if I'm recalling correctly, the Punitive Princess, yes, she buffs Tyrannok Chariots, as well as Sisters of Avalorn and Shadow Warriors and stuff like that, which would be our second army, and I wanted to function differently, sort of, than our Lothern Sea Guard army. Yes. Alright. It's a plan, Ruinous. Anyway, Phaedian. You know, I'm gonna think about what to do with you. Let's just we have other things to check out right now. First of all, Belharathor. Okay, wait, how do we do this? You actually would like to... Wait. We don't suffer attrition here. We need you to go into encamp stance. Wait, this might be... Okay, it's gonna be a weird way to do it, but go to the edge of this territory. I assume that you just won't be able to reach her this way. Go here. Okay, now you will. I assume... Oh, wait. You do gain bonus constant casualty or punishment rate out of... Oh man, would we even be able to reach this place next turn? Huh. I don't know. Maybe we should rush it and not worry about the attrition. I feel like it's the better idea. Let's rush it. You're gonna go here. And then you're going to move in March stance rather than healing. I'd rather not risk... Oh, I guess technically you can stay here and heal a little bit. And... Belharathor... Actually, no, that won't work, will it? I was about to say, can come in as a reinforcement, but we don't have Siege Attacker on... Actually, no, we do. We do have Siege Attacker. Griffins give it to you. Oh, that's fantastic. So we can use the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers as reinforcements to attack the city of Quintex, even if you can't reach it. Alright. Well, that all worked out nicely. Architect Luaron, I guess, well, I keep clicking you, but you don't need to move, do you? You just need to build stuff, but you don't actually need to build stuff this turn. Alright, so that, I guess, gives us, or ends us up at this question. Can we attack Infecticay? Answer is I don't know. Let's get you Greater Arcane Conduit. I mean, we could probably guarantee this if we were to get the... Who did I give the Kane's Ring of Fury to? I give it to you. Frankly, you don't actually need it anymore, because you're going to get your own mage. Yeah, you can have something else. We could give you the Ring of Corrin, for example, though... I actually didn't realize the Ring of Corrin gave you 100 plus armor-piercing weapon damage. If we combine that with the 100 plus armor-piercing weapon damage from the Obsidian Blade, we could make a really strong melee lord. Like a super hard-hitting one. It'd be kind of interesting. In fact, if we replace Moranian's Wayshard and the Bow of the Seafarer on Erathond, we might do that with him. I kind of like that idea. I'm into it. Especially since we have to give Moranian's Wayshard eventually to Belharathor. I mean, she's not going to be the one commanding that army, but it'll... we'll change it a little bit later. Alright, yeah, I like this idea. You, Phaedian, are going to take the Ring of Cain, because you don't need the other thing. Hopefully it doesn't curse your line in the way that... in the way that drawing the Sword of Cain cursed Denarian's line. Fun fact, Caledor Dragon Tamer, since we're doing a Caledor campaign, counseled Anarian not to draw the Sword of Cain because it would curse his line. Of course, Anarian did it anyway, and then it did curse his line, and that's how we got Dark Elves, folks. Listen to Caledor, and all will be well. Well, maybe not all, if you listen to Caledor the Warrior, who was an idiot, but anyway. Or at the very least, too overconfident. And actually, kind of similarly, Imladric, the guy I was talking about last episode, the other super famous dragon tamer, the only other equal of the dragons, also counseled the elves not to fight the dwarfs, though he did like the dwarfs as well, but he counseled them not to do it because that would be a bad idea and it would cause the elves to diminish, and that's exactly what happened after they were soundly kicked out of their colonies, and back to the donut. But anyway, where were we? Tangents distract me. Right, I was wondering whether we could guarantee this by summoning a temporary unit. Let's do the Pure Main Company. Hogwarts Pride and the Pure Main Company. They'll work well together. And then we'll fight this. Oh, you want to go into a spellcasty stance, maybe? You're probably going to need it. Let's do Lilith's Blessing. It causes a little bit of vigor loss, but it gives you additional speed, which we may get some use out of when being on that chariot. Let's see if these guys are willing to fight. We got 2 units, so they have nearly a full stack. Decisive defeat. Oh, damn. They got the Avalanche Mortars. The scariest unit that the Skaven have. Alright, well, we need to knock those down. We'll need to keep the Pure Main Company and probably Hogwarts Pride out of them. That's a scary, scary unit, but the rest of the army shouldn't be too much of a problem. The Assassin and the Chieftain might be. And in fact, the case on a Doomflayer or Warp Flayer. No, it's Doomflayer. Okay, do it anyway. Alright, here we go. It feels so weird to be fighting full stacks with just like a couple of units, but well, it also does feel very, very appropriate for the Skaven. Getting some nice fireworks out of those Avalanche Mortars, but they're not the only ones that can do fireworks. So we're going to move Fadian in and pop that first fiery convocation. Let's see. Alright, getting a decent line, and oh wow, the Avalanche Mortars. Yeah, well, a big issue with them is that they're a danger to the rats as well as us, as really all rat weaponry should be. Anyway, fortunately, our chariot has just enough mass. We're going to move in and stop, essentially, the Avalanche Mortars in their tracks just long enough to cast the Overcast Dwellers below upon them. They're really the only major threat out of the enemy infantry, not counting the enemy lords and heroes. By the looks of it, the dwellers below should rip the Avalanche Mortars apart without too much trouble, and dropping them down to maybe 10% of their HP, and in fact, by the looks of it, it's going to kill them all. There we go, down to a single rat. They won't be back, well, they won't be back in this army, though I expect we'll see them again. A nice charge, and this is a decent reason why it may be a good idea to keep the mage on the chariot, or at the very least, until she gets her own dragon, which would obviously be even more mass and more devastating charges. But for now, this will work. The rest of our army not doing anything yet. Funnily enough, the Pure Main Company back here, they're not hidden in any way. They're just standing out here. The enemy army just isn't moving towards them, which is a bit surprising in this particular case. But hey, working for us. Anyway, we're going to continue dishing out the damage. We have a bound army ability, which is a chain lightning. We're going to pop it right in the middle of the biggest blob of Skaven slaves that remain, and then follow it up with an Awakening of the Wood for a little bit more damage. And getting a few more charges in with Theoden, who's up to nearly 1,000 kills and 100,000 damage already. Constantly being chased around by an enemy chieftain on a Bonebreaker, but fortunately with her speed at 120, there's no way that anything here could possibly catch her. Really the only thing... I'm just trying to think of what in the Skaven roster at all could catch her, and I think it's probably only Brood Horrors and Lords mounted on Brood Horrors. I don't think Wolf Rats are fast enough to catch a 120 move speed chariot, and honestly, even if they were, they really wouldn't have the mass to do anything about it, or the armor-piercing damage. I suppose the poison variant might be able to slow her down long enough for another unit to catch her, but anyway. Oh, Doom Wheels. Slower, but they can fire while they move, so potentially being chased by Doom Wheels might also not be such a great thing. Anyway, we dropped another fiery convocation and continue riding on this poor rat. Oh wow, he gets up from that? It looked bad. I could just imagine the expletives. It just starts yelling as he gets up. That was amazing. But anyway, looks like the enemy's gonna launch a warp fireball at the Rahagra's Pride. Looks like it does connect with one of the one of the war lines, but the war lines seem to be fine. We're starting to move closer to the enemy army, or at the very least, the enemy army is attempting to close the distance with some of our units now, and it's time to get our well, I guess both units to try to fight the enemy lord and heroes. The chieftain and bonebreaker are going to be a difficult thing to deal with, but hopefully the Rahagra's Pride, despite not having anti-large being anti-infantry, will be able to deal with the enemy warlock master. That doom flare shouldn't be particularly tanky, and by the looks of it, he's down to about half HP. And frankly, that potion of foolhardiness that he just popped, giving him unbreakable, is actually probably a good thing for us, as it will force him to take more damage rather than running away. We even pin him in place a little bit with the with Phaedian the mage, and keep everyone attempting to attack him. Unfortunately, the Rahagra's Pride have started to take damage and almost booked it on out of there. The enemy drops a nice warp lightning among our pure main company, but they and the Pride do manage to trap the enemy lord. All the while, we have that Shield of Thorns active on our units, so that there's a little bit of damage reflection, though it looks like Phaedian managed to clear out the rest of the enemy's Skaven slaves. One last Dwellers Below and a few more charges later, and the field is littered with corpses, none of which were killed by either of our units, and only by Phaedian. Anyway, Warlock Master's down to about 10% HP. Another weird little battle, but it's the nature of fighting the rats sometimes. And the Warlock Master should at last go down. Yeah, this is not going to be on cue at all, but he will go down, damn it. Want to see that Doomflayer pop? Oh, he's attempting to book it on out of there now, chase him down. War lines and white lines. Somebody get the kill, please. Come on, come on, come on. It would be wonderful if he didn't escape. By the looks of it, the Rahagra's Pride are fast enough to catch him on that Doomflayer, though. What's the speed we got here? Well, no checking now, as he died just before I looked at where the speed appeared. Anyway, luckily for us, perhaps, the Bonebreaker and the enemy assassin will actually run rather than continuing to fight. A little bit surprising, the enemy probably could have done a little bit more damage to us with those heroes, especially to our units, which didn't get overly hurt, but I'll take it. Unfortunately, unlike the horse mount, the chariot isn't particularly good for chasing lords, so we don't really do any damage to the assassin. And we have seen the horse-mounted archmages actually chase enemy lords down, so there is that negative aspect to it, but we got plenty of decent charges, so I'm still happy. Alright, 2.6k kills and 200,000 damage for Phaedian for that one, and not too much of a problem in the battle, generally speaking. Obviously, once again, the clan rats and the Skaven slaves are of no particular threat or consequence. The enemy heroes did unfortunately escape, but at least Rahagra's Pride were able to destroy the enemy lord and keep all their units as well. We're going to ransom the captives, and we're going to chase that enemy down. The problem with things like this in the sense that while we could use this army to try and move ahead, we don't know where the real scaven stacks are, and they could be around here. If we run into a proper scaven stack with lots of range units and a bunch of stuff, then it'll be very much a problem. I also realize that the medium casualties, I kind of don't like that. Because what if we immediately get ambushed next turn? I mean, to be fair, Phaedian will escape, and we don't really care about the Regiments of Renown, admittedly. Because they will be deleted and then revived over in Ulthuan, where we'll make our White Lions and stuff army. Oh, wow. Huh. For Hogwarts Pride is fine, it's the Pure Main company that got wrecked. Interesting. Honestly, 10% healing isn't enough to worry about, so let's just ransom the captives and hope we won't need anything else. You can in fact move back to Crookback Mountain and be relatively fine. Blade of Leaping Gold. Melee attack plus 10 and armor-piercing weapon damage. Blade of Leaping Gold. Wait, what is Balthazar's Gelt? What is Balthazar Gelt's weapon called? He has an Amulet of Sea Gold. Oh man, what is his weapon called? Huh. This sounds like a Gelty thing to me, but who knows? He just likes gold. Anyway, let's do some building, and then let's go to the next turn. First of all, Plane of Bones, and nothing for us. Dragonfang Mount or Dragon Isles, nothing for us. Nothing for us? Nothing for us, at least not for a turn. Looks good to me. Iron Spike, minus 16. It's kind of iffy, but our money. Alright, fine, don't collect the income. And this is okay. Mount Gunbed. Do we spend the money now to upgrade you once again? We're not making a lot of cash, but we could upgrade you. Funnily enough, I believe there was a weak stack around the high place. What if we move here and attempt to take the high place? Then we'd have the commandment to at least reduce the cost of the place. There's certainly potential for it. Tor Anrock's at minus 7. I mean, you can collect the income for a turn or two. If we're gonna keep Tor Anrock, we may as well upgrade it, because it'll be probably a while until we can confederate Tiranock. So yeah, just go up to Tower, we'll upgrade the gold mine, and then we'll probably build a colonnade, or actually possibly walls here. Enemies are fairly likely to sail on down, after all. Anyway, Griffin Gate, you're fine. Arnheim, no, we're not upgrading anything here, because we don't know whether we're keeping it. Haunted Forest is fine. Pig Barter. I mean, I guess we could start on the colonnade / plaza there. It'll be a little bit before we get Ruins, but we can get it up to rank 1. And the Titan Peaks, well, we're waiting for Ancient City of Quintex next turn, so good to go. Skip, and diplomacy check real quick. What do we have? Last Defenders? No, nobody wants to do anything, really. How's that Confederation looking? Order of Lore Masters still minus 74. We're at plus 76 now. Go figure. Alright, end turn. Yeah, and I think I'm more or less decided on at least, at least which mages are going to go into which armies. I was just thinking about which armies that are going to have dragons, which armies are not going to have dragons, and then who gets what kind of magics. Karazakarak has ended our non-aggression pact. Well, we had anticipated that we would be getting into a war with them. They really, really don't like us. Well, they're gonna like us even less once we destroy them all. And hey, a lot of people were suggesting we should go to war with the dwarfs anyway. And at least this way we both get to be friends with the dwarfs and enemies with the dwarfs at once, in the sense of keeping Karak-Kadrin around. Faction destroyed, Red of Sotek performed, Delirium, we don't really care about you. Although, I actually would have preferred if one of these guys confederated them, because that way oh, I just had an idea. That way... Or maybe I didn't, never mind. I was wondering whether we should trade Griffin Gate to one of the AI so that they could build it up over time, but then we'd lose the income from trade tariffs plus 10%, so maybe not. Ambush got foiled, not so great. And I forgot what I was saying. Oh, too late now. Let's see, Imrik. Alright, so you can't reach Knobbly Gorge, and it looks like our Wennel cannot either, but that's fine. You're both going to go right here to the edge of this. Oh, Gorsty is still there. No, you know what? Go close enough so that either one of you might be able to attack Gorst. I also forgot that we had the plague on you, but, well, not a big deal. Really hoping that if that if Gorst doesn't run, we'll be able to have Arwinil get the defeat trait from him next turn. If he does run, it'll be a problem. Oh, right. And one thing I was saying, that our gambit paid off as Grimgore and Goldtooth are now at war. So we've allied these guys, and hopefully, by the looks of it, we can force Grimgore to get crushed and by all the factions he's fighting with at once. If we could just get Karakadrin to declare war on him as well, it would, I think, work out nicely for us. Skaven army's gone. It's probably in this territory. What's our public order like? I don't see the rating there, so if they were rating, they are not rating anymore. Head to Bitter Bay. I want to see if there's a stack here, since we're down here. Or whether it's full of rats or not. It's not. Alright, fine, just colonize it. Problem with this place is it's gonna rebel if we... well, it's got 100% Skaven corruption, but if we're down here right now, we may as well. Maybe we can draw that little Skaven stack forward. Speaking of, you, Feodin, are going to march all the way over here, around Mount Silver Spear, and attempt to go to the high place. I'd like to see what's over there at the very least. I don't believe they can move past World's Edge Archway unless I'm mistaken, and we want the territory for ourselves. Next up, we got Erithond. You are going to go into Noble Prestige and besiege the ancient city of Quintex. Belherathor... okay, Belherathor, you are going to go into, I guess, Lilia's Blessing, doesn't really matter. And you're going to swap some stuff around with Erithon. Well, actually, you're going to swap nearly all the stuff around with Erithon. Like this, and then cancel 3, okay, not the named ones, cancel 3 of the Eagle Claws. I mean, it's a few too many Silver and Guard, but yeah, there's a few things that need to be swapped around anyway. Plus, we will actually need a mage in here. Not, well, maybe Erithon just thinks mages are a crutch. There we go, 6 eagles, 7 Silver and Guard, 5 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, and all the Erithon you could want. Alright, you are going to need... oh, we have a Steamed Combatant. Do we need to bother with a Retinue Trainer? I mean... could level up the eagles a little bit faster, I guess. Frankly, I'm not entirely sure that it's worth the 2 points, but whatever. Ooh, 1% gain, who cares? I don't know, I guess get Retinue Bard. If we keep this noble with some of the units and then Erithon with some of the other units, their auroras don't necessarily need to overlap. Now, this is a decisive victory with low casualties, and frankly, the defenses are kind of meh. I feel like we'd like a proper fight for the debut battle for these guys, and I'm willing to bet that there will be one at Tyrant Peak. Since clearly nobody's recruiting anything here, so I think we'll auto-resolve this and just proceed over there. Auto-resolve it, wait, give the Lichbone Pennant to... I know one of the Silver and Guard doesn't really matter. Assuming nobody will die, and by the looks of it, nobody will, auto-resolve. Yeah, a little bit of damage to some units, but we're fine. And Occupy, does this give us profit? Everything Rod, you don't need that. We'll turn it into something useful. Star Dragon for Erithon would be nice, but no. He prefers eagles.
I will see to it.
Griffin, where are griffins, man? Imagine I'm just actually rejecting a dragon for a griffin. I wonder if the dragon would have like a crisis. Ooh, damn. Obsidian Amulet Carvers gives us magic item drop chance plus 15 faction wide. Oh, I should have been going after Obsidian Carvers at all costs. That's nice. I mean, it's not as nice as Vol's Anvil will be when we take it, but it's still pretty damn nice. And we got to keep the building from the ancient city of Quintex, which also offers us control. Too bad that it doesn't, like, counteract the debuffs from the uninhabitable climate here, but it's still not bad. Still not bad. Also, Mazda Mundi, you canceled that agreement with us, but your relationship with us is still growing. Dude, why? Minus 22, why? What did we do to you, Mazda? We helped you in that way, sort of. I mean, not directly, but yeah. Okay, also, I wanted to build a mage, and the mage can only be built here. And I guess that's where we'll build a mage. Build a mage workshop. Resistant, I believe, was the one to do. Melee defense +2, spell resistance +5, and missile resistance +5%. This is going to buff up the Lothran Sea Guard army. Wild War of Metal, Amulet of Sea Gold. That's why I don't know. Mostly because a lot of the other lords are fitting into other specific types of armies, and it's not like we have the Lord of the Deeps. So yeah. And that's what we're going to do with our Lothran Sea Guard. Plus, we can use the Glittering Robe to sort of counteract enemy missile fire with the spell resistances it offers, plus the physical resistances it offers, so it's not so bad. We'll keep the light lore instead for the Sisters of Avalorn. Feels more appropriate to me. Yeah, and I believe that's actually it, right? Minus the potential building. And, oh, would you look at that? The Karak-Azul has revived. Not for long, as we'll probably kill them together with the Karazakarak dwarves. And ooh, if we take the high place, decent likelihood that they'll attack us there as well. Oh well. Alright, building once again, insofar as we can call it that. We can mostly switch you to rebuild Lost Splendor. Also gotta check how close we are to profit. Howling Waste, you're fine. Wolflands, you are. Going to switch to rebuild Lost Splendor. Desolation of Asgore. Nothing for you. Vol's Anvil / Caledor, the first Vol's Anvil. Actually, technically, I think the Dark Elven Anvil is the first Vol's Anvil. Or maybe not, I don't remember. One of them predates the others, and I feel like it's this one, but yeah. And don't quote me on that one. The newest one is obviously the one in the, in Athel-Loren. Alright, and that made me think, but yeah. Anyway, let's get back to whatever we were doing here, and I don't believe there was anything really. You could actually switch to rebuild Lost Splendor, but you will probably need the public order for a little while. Although, -6 is gonna change to +4, yeah, but that's with all of these armies here, that's not gonna work. Alright, that's fine. No more building this turn. You can stay in the Leith's Blessing, and I mean, I guess you can follow Arathon for now. We'll probably get to here and then split off. One of you can go this way, and then one of you can go this way. Arathon specifically to hit the Witchwood. As long as these guys continue to refuse to trade us Bleakhold Fortress and Hag Hall, and they still very much do. Even if we join war against Karant Kar. Well, skip once again. And I guess advance a few more turns. How's Teclis looking? He's still alive, but it's still -74. And turn. I wonder, since the Karazgarek dwarfs broke their agreement... Don't tell me you're breaking agreement too. Yep. Okay, so I think our empire is getting so big that everybody's starting to dislike us now. That -30 or -40 or whatever it is that we're getting just from empire size. Which is a bit unfortunate. Especially considering we're quite strong and it's not like we were breaking alliances with anybody. Everybody is hankling towards a war with us. And I just feel like that's a bad idea on their part. Sylvania Mousillon confederated. Huh. I don't see that often. Usually Mousillon either gets destroyed or potentially confederated by Kemmler. Wild Hunt, ready for DUT, doesn't matter. Missile Focus, shoot again. Getting a lot of these lately. Alright, and Gorst, he ran, you little coward. Okay, so what's the best way to do this then? I guess the best way to do this is for Arwinil rather, to take Knobbly Gorge with a quick little auto-resolve. Like so. And occupy. Don't even bother looting and occupy. We'll give it to the ogres anyway. So yeah. Don't collect the income because I don't want to deal with the rebellion. Imrik, stay here. I'm going to assume that you can actually reach Shambletown in a turn. You know what? I should have done it the other way probably. Now, just in case, Go into Lilith's blessing since you're losing mana anyway, then proceed towards Shambletown. Once we knock out Gorst, we can go for the rats. Oh, for the love of... rats. So let me guess, they're going for the Sentinels? No, actually, the defenses aren't horrible. You know what? Find out what's in this army. I was gonna send Phaedian down there, but we might not need to. Phaedian, go to World's Edge Archway. Heal there for a turn and... oh! Okay, maybe it was appropriate to go to World's Edge Archway. I see Queeks here. And I do believe there should be a full stack at the high place as well. And I also take it that Queek is ignoring the dwarfs, which are right beside us, and instead going to head towards us. Phaedian, there's the uh-oh. Right. And the problem with this, there's no way you can kill Queek. Or Ska Bloodtail. No, you know what? We're not losing you. Not like this. You're gonna back off. We need the Lothern Sea Guard army here. Meaning you're moving up north to deal with Queek, and we will be sending then our main Imrik stack around this way. Alright, you're gonna take a fairly long while to get there. Phaedian, you will defend Mount Silver Spear because it actually has a decent garrison and probably enough of one to kill Queek, I think, maybe. We'll see. Arathond. March stance, get ready to move to Tyrant Peak. And Belharathoi, get ready to follow. Hopefully before Marathi revives and sends a full stack out this way. Ancient City of Quintex still positive. Nice, nice. And we'll start building that plaza there, but probably not much else, at least. Not for now. Really need to fix up our econ. Architect Luaran, you are going to upgrade this. Sea Dragon's Teeth. That'll help with the fixing up the econ. Go for the Alchemy Workshop and... I mean, I guess we go for the Elven Craftsman. Public Order is fine. The Elven Craftsman will just generate more money, and this is gonna be our biggest cash cow of a province, so we'll go for sort of direct money generation here rather than the indirect. Not that the entertainment districts are indirect, but the Elven embassies are, so yeah, there's that. And I don't believe there's anybody else to move, so I guess we'll do, once again, another round of building. Yeah, you can stay in that stance. Or commandment. I still think of it as stance dancing. Promenade here, that great, and I mean great expense, and then we'll build the watchtower at the gates of Jar, because they're going to need it. You are okay for now, Crookback Mountain. At the very least, nobody can attack you. You're fine. Mount Gunbad. Losing public order and gonna lose a bit more once World's Edge Archway falls to Queek, but not much we can do about that. Tirnock, you're fine, and the rest I believe we don't need to collect income. I guess we can upgrade the colonnade. You know what? We barely have any money. Let's not risk it. I don't want to accidentally risk bankrupting us. Order of Lore Masters, minus 72. It's really not growing as fast as I'd like. Oh, they just lost their army by the looks of it. Techless. Plus 92, minus 72. You should really be more inclined towards Confederation, I feel. He doesn't even want to trade, and it's, I mean, it's elves. And we're really friendly, and he doesn't want to trade. Why? Because it would benefit us too much? And this tend to be the case with him. Anyway, I really like to get a proper fight going, so we're gonna skip and we're gonna end the turn. We're gonna hope that we find one. Alright, Gorsty, well, okay, there's Queek going for the garrison here. Yeah, we need somebody to deal with Queek. And Ska. His heroes. The rest of his army is kind of irrelevant, but yeah. I forget. I don't think we invested in World's Edge Archway, so it doesn't really matter what happens there. Mount Gunbad I'm a little bit more concerned about. I'd probably rather raise Regiments of Renown than lose Mount Gunbad simply because we have invested in it. And where the heck did Gorst go? I really wanted his defeat trait on Arwenel, who unfortunately can't reach Shambletown. You know what? I assume Gorst is here and he'll be able to reach us, but I'd rather not wait, so we're going to just send Imrik to Shemia. He's right there. I mean, a single turn. Fine. Harmon will go here. What's the sack value of this place? We could sack it for Imrik. he'll then have at least done something over the turn. On the other hand, if he doesn't sack it, Gorsty might move there at... to defend it? It's a possibility. Go into ambush, so that he doesn't know you're here. And I assume you two are count as beside each other. Yes, alright, let's try this. Frankly, this hero will probably find them, but we'll give it a shot. Feodian, you're going to go into Silver Spear, and potentially defend it. Though if Queeg goes for Gunbat, it'll be a bit more of a problem for us. Gunbat also doesn't have much in the way of defenses, although there's a little dwarf stack nearby. And they might serve a purpose. Finally, we have given the dwarves purpose. You are going to go into Lilith's Blessing despite the lack of magic. And proceed this way. Hopefully Marathi doesn't have an army coming around up north. And then you actually will also need to proceed with Lilith's Blessing right here, but stay in our own territory. Even though I think you won't be able to heal anyway. Not that the sort of supporter army really needs to, as in it's not super critical that we do. And damn, Karakazul is regaining their territory quickly now. Can we leave Queeg here is the question. He's actually pretty damaged now. I feel like Rahagra's Pride might actually be able to kill him here. You're gonna go here. If he's here by himself, it shouldn't be a problem. We'll keep moving until Nai's army up. Oh, this army is causing the public order problems. The Lothard Seaguard army has bigger things to do. This army is too weak, and it's... yeah, I'm just gonna ignore it. We're just gonna ignore it, not much choice. And Colin, you're moved to join this army as well. Alrighty, and I believe that's it. While we do probably have at least a few buildings to build, the only one I think we're really concerned about is this one here at the Dragon Isles, because it's the money there we want. How close are we to this? 6 turns. Okay, really need that bonus control. And how close are we to profit? Alright, 3,000 kills. Should be relatively easy to acquire. Skip the rest of this and then the turn again. And definitely advancing the turns right now. But I think that might be a good thing. Rather than sort of... sometimes you suffer from success when you win too many turns in quick succession against the... Balthazar Geld, what are you doing? Against the enemy decline. And he's going to deploy against Arwenil. Perfect. Perfect. I feel like we haven't had a battle in a while in this episode, and while this is kind of a sad force, we'll still do it. Go. Alright, I might have sped through the speech a little too quick. Oh, I like the shining stars and stuff on the Archmage's robe. I didn't check whether this is unique to the High Mage or not. I mean, you'd think that the Lore of the Heavens Archmage would have a similar sort of getup. In fact, wait, I'm just curious. Michaela? No stars. At least I don't think so. Oh, she does have stars, they're just not glowing. Interesting. Well, check the robes of the other lores as well, out of curiosity. Anyway, I don't expect this is going to be a difficult battle whatsoever. In fact, the enemy has no chance, but have just a little fun fight here. We're going to move Imrik away from the rest of our army. We're going to have him target that Star Dragon breath on Mr. Gorsty. A few of the skeletons nearby will catch a little bit of that breath, but that single breath on Gorst takes him down by about 60% of his HP. Probably only another hit or two from Imrik, and he's gonna go down. Alright, I guess he didn't learn his lesson the first time. But he'll learn it one last time as down he goes, and Manathmir can turn to the skeletons instead. I did say it would be likely to be a very quick battle. After all, let's watch the Dragon Princes do a little bit of work here, and just for fun. Once again, the idea for this episode is to hopefully get Arathond and his new and improved army some fights, but, well, it would be wrong not to see Imrik fight at least a little bit. Even if it is against a stack that stands no chance. Imrik is doing his own thing as the enemy, well, can do nothing about him. Michaela leads the 2 Sun Dragons and the Moon Dragon against some skeletons, and we're going to get a few more charges as we can with those Dragon Princes. See how much air they can get. And of course the Noble is among them as well, leading them from the back apparently. A very scaven thing to do. And not too bad of a charge. The skeletons certainly can't stop the Dragon Princes from doing that. Oh, and actually, since we're friends with Goldtooth now and we're going back to the Clan Moors territories, we should be able to quickly build up another unit of Dragon Princes for Imrik. We've been wanting one after all. Too bad that building only offers us an additional 1 in terms of capacity, but we'll get more Dragon Princes on the field as soon as we can. Really, it's just a matter of growth, and while it is taking quite a while to grow, we'll get there. Alright, it's only episode 11 after all. Anyway, looks like the enemy army is in pretty dire straits. We've separated our own army, not even going to bother moving down. And the infantry just going to have the archers provide a little bit of support. Not even that, though, will be needed as, frankly, the infantry lines don't have much to do in this battle, or, well, most battles for Imrik nowadays, as his army is just too strong with the dragons and the Dragon Princes. Of course, only the weaker armies of the enemies are stand no chance. And if we should run into some really strong armies, that's going to change. Definitely going to need to use the entire army when we besiege Nagashazar and Clan Carrion. Both dragons and infantry alike. For now, though, these skeletons and zombies are easy pickings. The balance of power shifts to about 95% in our favor. Imrik knocks out the enemy necromancer out here, and just as quick as Gorsty, mind you, and then gets another Star Dragon Breath from Manathmir into some more skeletons, or actually zombies. Pounce right back through the Manathmir, like those glowing yellow eyes as well. Looks like they're having a lot of fun here. There we go. And let's see, with that, I do believe the chain route is here. Enough damage has been sustained, army losses, and heroes and lord destroyed, that the enemy army begins melting away. The dragons are on the approach as the skeletons attempt to seek cover through the tree lines, but we can still breathe on the stragglers and a little bit through the trees as well. Still a shame that there's no environmental effects like setting a forest on fire, but, well, probably a limitation of the engine, or just an unneeded, unnecessary feature. Completely necessary fireball coming down from Michaela just because it's a rarely used spell and I want to see it. And we move towards the last of the enemy units that still has a teensy bit of HP. Dragon Princes and dragons alike land upon the unit, and with that, the battle is fully ours. Lovely. Alright, quick little fight, down goes Gorst, but handily did he give us the defeat rate that we wanted, so I'm pretty happy with that. We'll ransom the captives because we don't really care about healing this little tiny stack, and then we'll destroy the remnants of Gorst's forces next turn. I would also like to talk to Gelty Boy here. Oh damn, he doesn't have a sword. Cloak of molten metal, yada yada yada. You, sir. There we go. Amulet of Fire, you don't need this. Frankly, you don't really need the Power Stone either, but just hold on to it briefly. Opal Amulet, Technology Researched Upkeep Reduction for Spears, Archers, and Rangers. Very nice. That's a significant upgrade, and then we'll go for Recall Colonists next. Guilty. Oh, they were the only ones you were at war with? That's kind of surprising. Oh, wow, he doesn't like us. What the heck? That strategic threat is, really starting to hurt. Okay, Gelt, you better not randomly attack us. He's actually quite strong as well. It's strength rank 12. I'm shocked that he's not fighting the lizards, not fighting the Blessed Dread, not fighting the... Well, okay, Clanation has been destroyed by presumably the northern provinces, and not fighting Chaos. You better not declare war on Goldtooth, because then we're going to probably have to defend Goldtooth. I mean, certainly we could take Cathian territories and sort of gift them to the,
Western provinces.
Gift them to the Western Cathians, for example. Though they did cancel our agreement. Order of Lore Masters. Still don't want to confederate. Defensive alliance with Katep. That's certainly something we could consider. A non-aggression pact with Droika, huh? She's actually somewhat likely. But she only has the one territory as well. Well, anyway, that doesn't change the fact that Arwanelli, you're gonna go right here. Imrik, you're going to reinforce, and we'll just auto-resolve it, and then we can send Imrik running immediately. Might even have him go by Nagashazar and fight it right now. Might as well go through it. And then auto-resolve this. And one zombie, okay. And occupy. If briefly. Oh, no, never mind, no zombie. Caravan of Blue Roses destroyed, and then we don't have to... Hopefully don't have to worry about Armanel dying. Can we get you to declare war on anybody? Like, let's say, Clan Wars? 2.4. Oh, wow, I'm not paying you that much money. Just that they're not against... they're not more likely to declare war on us. I want them against anybody at all, but it's looking like it's not possible. The AI just wants way too much cash for it. Alright, well... I hope this doesn't come back to bite us.
Crown Prince.
I really, really don't. Imrik, you're gonna move, and we're gonna hope that Gelt doesn't take this opportunity to attack us and kill Arwanel. Now, just in case, it'd be really unfortunate to lose Gorst or Ghost and Flammable as well. Take out the Power Stone. And Imrik, get a move on, sir. Can we travel through Ogre territories? Yes, we can. Okay, good. Oh, you actually will want to go through Shattered Stone Bay and maybe... Well, it doesn't really matter. We're going to Ruin's End either way, because these guys need to be destroyed, since they attacked us once, and if they did it once, there's at least a likelihood they'll do it again. I no longer see Queek's army. Most likely it's recovering at the high place again. Alright, well the Lothar and Seaguard army is on the approach, and Phaedian and this army will attack them together. Colin, you went the wrong way, unless... Wait. Can you reach this army? Oh, you can reach this army. We're gonna have to delete a Lothar and Seaguard unit. Do we go for a shielded one or an unshielded one? Do a shielded one for now, since we have a lot more of them. It's a bit of a shame, considering we used money to recruit them. I guess we could transfer them over to Phaedian for now. But on the other hand, they would be so much more expensive in her army. They're only 122 here, so cheap. Fine, just delete one. Callan go in the army as well, and now this army has magic, and it has upgrades, and it has reductions, and most of the stuff we want. What it doesn't have yet is a battle, but we should be getting one shortly, as we sort of maneuver our armies forward to start fighting the Clan Moors rats. Tyrant Peak, close victory, eh? You know what, I think just for fun, wait, does this have defenses? It does not. I was wondering whether we could do a cinematic battle for these, just to see the Eagle Claws in action a little bit. Morathi's faction might be done, as in they might not recover, so maybe we fight this. Do we want the other army to come in as a reinforcement? Maybe just as an experience leech. Don't necessarily need to use them, plus we get more Eagle Claws there. Did I call them Reaper Bolt Throwers again? It's very possible. I do that. Eagle claws, eagles, and silver guards. So, what are we missing here? What we're really missing is quartermaster. I mean, we could max out Skymaster, but frankly, the Eagles are doing pretty okay. I think we're going to go through Merchant Lord and then into a Quartermaster. And we're also going to fight this. Go.
For the king!
Alrighty, here we go. Arathon's new and improved army are ready to go. Where before the spears and the archers meant that Arathon would likely struggle quite a bit in siege battles, now we've got eagles and eagle claw bolt throwers. Plenty to bring down the towers, bring down the walls, saturate the enemy army with bolts, and then swoop down upon them with eagles. All the while, slowly but surely advancing with our silver and guard. Lovely. Alright. I don't imagine this particular battle will offer too much trouble for us, though who knows? It is nearly a full stack thanks to the outpost of the Vampire Coast in here, and I do believe they have a unit of deck gunners up on the walls, which is probably the biggest unit or the biggest threat on the field, and that includes all the Dark Elves. Anyway, looks like 3 out of the enemy 4 defending towers are down. I also quickly tested out whether the Eagle Claw single shot would be stronger, significantly stronger at knocking down towers than the multi-shot, and yes, it most definitely is. Though, of course, the good thing about multi-shot on the walls is if you target the walls, like these guys are currently doing, the AI generally won't react to it. So, by attacking the walls with that particular shot, the stray shots are hitting and obliterating the deck gunners, while the units continue focusing the walls down. And the walls will still take damage to the multi-shot. So there is that. You could saturate the entire wall just by targeting, well, everywhere you can on top of the walls, and they'll just fire those multi-shots at them. And they'll do so for a little bit yet, as we want to knock a few holes in the walls, though it is faster to use the single shots sometimes. And I wanted to use mostly single shots here to attempt to bring down that particular sorceress. Didn't quite work out, but she's going to go back on the walls, and we're going to keep that bombardment up until hopefully we bring the right wall down. Down goes the wall over here, and the sorceress manages to escape that one as well. But not to worry, our ammunition isn't liable to end anytime soon, at least, and not by the looks of it. And here's another attempt. Will the sorceress stay up on the wall this time? By the looks of it, wait for it. She will, and with that will fall to her death in the pile of debris. Ooh, I like the way that the bolts were shooting through the screen there. Anyway, time for the Eagles to move on in, and a horrifying fate will meet the poor Dread Spears up on top of this wall. Just trying to defend the wall, and then this giant pile of Eagles absolutely obliterates the unit. The single charge effectively completely destroys the unit. It only took them like 2 seconds, considering they were being attacked from every side. Poor Dread Spears. Perhaps the Blackguard of Nagaron below will fare a little better, but how much better, I guess we'll have to see. And for now, there's a unit of Dread Swords or Bleak Swords rather, out here as well. They see the shadows above them, and they know what's coming. Down drop the Eagles once more along the Bleak Swords, and they'll rip into them quickly. The enemy Blackguard of Nagaron move in to attempt to reinforce, but we quickly countercharge them and knock them down. And let's see, those Blackguard, they lost about half of their HP to that already. More units, of course, are moving in, but the Eagles are ripping into all these infantry quite quickly. Unfortunately for the enemy, they don't have any units with mass or any units that deal very significant amounts of damage to a single target, like a Master, for example, or a Hydra, or Charybdis, or anything like that. So the Eagles aren't really so much threatened by this. And their own hits are certainly strong enough to kill off individual models of enemy infantry fairly quick, especially with Arathond helping out on his Griffin. Alright, and by the looks of it, the first of the units of Bleak Swords here is in very bad shape. The first of the units of Black Guard of Nagaron has been destroyed, and the other unit of Dread Spears is liable to follow suit shortly. In the meantime, we've continued to break holes in the enemy fortifications, and the Silveran Guard have arrived. 2 units surrounding an enemy unit of Dread Spears as we moved in through various breaches all at once. And the Silveran Guard look pretty great as well with the Imrik color scheme and the Knights of Caledor color scheme, and combined with that silver armor. Alright, well obviously those Dread Spears, or no, those Dark Shards rather, aren't going to stand any kind of chance. There's a unit of Bleak Swords out here who will attempt to give us a fight though. 50 and 47 plus 55 armor, their stats are actually fairly solid, all things considered, especially that it's a tier 2 in basic unit, and let's face it, Bleak Swords have never been particularly good. We do have 74 melee defense on us here. The Talon Prince's Silver Guard in particular holding against the Bleak Swords and slowly dishing out damage while taking very, very little themselves. The anti-infantry of the enemy Bleak Swords just not being enough to overcome the defense as well as the armor of the Silveran Guard. That said, the Silveran Guard is still a unit meant to hold the line, so it's going to take them a long time to actually dish out damage here, but that's just fine, because the real damage in this army comes from the pile of Eagles, which have once again found a big old blob of enemy units to drop upon, and are very much in the process of ripping them all apart. Alright. I don't remember ever using this many Eagles when playing High Elves previously, so this has been a pleasant surprise. Gotta give it up to Arathond for this random Eagle-themed army. And I believe that was the enemy Death Hag, or is the enemy Death Hag, though by the looks of it not for much longer. She'll take one more hit and get brought down. With the death of the Death Hag, I do believe the enemy army will probably go into a chain rout. And 95% balance of power in our favor. There's still a couple units fighting down here, but I do believe a rear charge from a couple of units of Eagles, Hammer and Anvil against the Silveran Guard will force the last enemy zombie unit to begin crumbling, and the last of the fighting Bleak Swords to chain rout as well. Or shatter, I should say. No, not shatter quite yet. Another full HP unit of Bleak Swords is moving in. Alright, I guess we'll have to kill off that one as well. Plus this little Dark Shard unit here. But, well, let's just say they're in a pretty bad place on these platforms. As the flyers can just land upon them here. And they're kind of pressed onto the platform as well. So they'll have a hard time backing off. And there we go with that. The Dark Shards will rout, the Bleak Swords will rout, and the battle will be ours. Easy take. This army has become... It went from being very, very bad at besieging settlements to, I would say, quite good with the sheer amount of artillery and flyers they have. Definitely an about face. Alright, there we go. I feel like there's something absolutely horrifying about being swarmed by these giant eagles. Almost more horrifying than being swarmed by dragons for some reason. Maybe it's the relative normality, or maybe it's because of their numbers, or... I don't know, maybe the sort of relative... Screech. Visibility of the sharp beaks and talons. I don't know. What I do know is I'm loving this eagle-themed army. It's working for me. We will occupy the place as we do, and Tyrant Peak, unlike the other places, is actually a green territory for us, which is quite nice. Scarpel's lair also has exotic animals, so more eagle action, I guess, should we desire it. You know, you move us... Actually, no, wait. We can use you, Bel Harathoid, to take Scarpel's lair and then simply move Arathond further towards the Plain of Dogs. Yeah, Marathi, I'm not sure that you're going to recover now. You're kind of in trouble, huh? 2 territories remaining. She does seem to be having a stag going. There's a little bit of balance of power there, so... Yeah, we'll see. Defenses with Exiles of Nehek. And that's about it. Dreadfleet want to peace out, but I feel like there's no longer a reason to do so, at least not at the current time. Now, Karakadrin, you don't like us because of aversion combined with strategic... I mean, look at this. So look at all the wars we're fighting and stuff like that, and just that little bit of strategic threat, and they don't care. But what can you do? Nature of the game and all. Architect Luaran, once again, do we have anything to build here? Not until next turn, so we won't switch. Did I check the buildings this turn is the question. Because I genuinely don't remember. You stay in ambush stance. Oh, I guess I didn't, because we have stuff with Mount Greyhag. You know what? You're gonna need to switch to rebuild Lost Splendor. I guess I should have switched to you last turn after all. Let's take a quick look at what we got here then. You will upgrade next turn, so you're fine. Desolation of Asgore, you're switching. Tyrannok, you are still going to collect income, though I fear for not much longer. Vol's Anvil, we still need to upgrade you. I'd actually love for you not to collect the income for a little while, so we could grow you up to tier 3. And get you that iron. We could also potentially temporarily replace the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers with a growth building here, because it's taking so long. Yeah, you know what, let's do it. We can always get it back later on, and especially since it doesn't actually need to be in this, in Torsatha, it should be in Vol's Anvil. We're also going to build the White Lions and the War Lions out of this place, but we need to build tier 3 in order to do that. Mount Gunbad, don't collect the income, you're at minus 20 now because of the raiding? Faction size, provincial instability. Oh, it's a provincial instability from the World's Edge Archway. Okay, fair enough. I got so many territories where we're not collecting the income anymore, but I fear that there isn't really a place where we should be. Exotic pet store. Fine, build it. I was wondering whether we should get Architect Luaran all the way over here. Oh, you know what? Well, no. Just build the exotic pet store. I was wondering whether we should switch to rebuild Lost Splendor for a turn, but the public order here is still pretty horrendous. And, well, we're losing... Damn. We need to anti-corrupt, but if we do, it'll be a minus 10. We could do it for a few turns. Maybe I should have built an anti-corruption building here, instead of the exotic animals. Banish corruption for a few turns. And Titan Peaks, just out of curiosity, how negative? Ooh, you would make us decent cash, but at minus 11. We can't deal with it yet. And you have no corruption in this territory. So we have growth, we have elven craftsmen. We'd want to build a colonnade here. I guess we're going to have to sacrifice some buildings here and replace them with colonnades because, yeah, I don't see how that we can avoid it. Build a colonnade here and upgrade the obsidian trinket maker even without the reductions. It's also going to take an absolute age to actually build up those colonnades because it's a red territory, but what can you do? Don't bother with the... Oh, wait. Actually, out of curiosity, we can build Illyrian Reaver archers and Reavers at one turn here. Huh. We could get Bel Harathoid and her basic army a little bit of cav. You know what? Don't necessarily do it right now. But there's potential for it. Alright, actually, speaking of Bel Harathoid, before I forget, we are going to need you to now take the... Moranian's Way Shard, which will give you that Vanguard deployment for your spears and stuff, since we don't actually have any of those anymore in the other army. Don't bother with the Dragon Helm. Also, we picked up a bunch of items this turn. We'll keep the Shrieking Blades, primarily for mages and stuff, but the Scroll of Amber and the Earthing Rod are not useful. Golden Crown of Atrazar. Leadership or award save, yeah, not horrible, at least for a support item. Sword of Striking, you can be combined with a Berserker's Sword into hopefully something better. Sword of Anti-Heroes, not bad. Wand of Jet, potentially useful, not as good as Power Stone, I guess, though. Amulet of Fire has that spell resistance and fire resistance. You know what, I think these we can get rid of. Armor of the Stars, Hiding, Stalking, eh? That one I don't care for. We could probably try to turn it into a nicer blue item. Dragon Scale Shield is fine. Dragon Helm, however, is not particularly good. Shadow Armor. Vanguard Deployment might be useful on a mage, potentially, so I think maybe we'll keep these. And I guess the Obsidian Amulets will be good on mages as well. As in, not Lord mages, though. You keep the Moranian's Way Shard, and we'll take a look at your items later on. Right now, you're not really fighting proper fights. Arathond, what I wanted to do with you is lose the Bow of the Seafarer, give you the Ring of Corin, and give you the Blade of... or Obsidian Blade, giving you 752 weapon strength pre-buff, with the 200 from these, plus the free Ring of Corin buff, which is pretty damn solid. Yeah, Arathond's getting to be a pretty nasty foe. Still needs a mage, though, once again. It's a bit of a crutch. Anybody else need to move here? I guess not. Skip, 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 skip. Let's see if anything interesting happens. Alright, where is Queeky? And Golden Order, will you attack us? Is another big question, I guess. No, they will not. Okay, that's good. Still don't... Huh. I saw territory change hands. I think Zatan just lost Eagle Ares. I think he had taken it before, unless I'm mistaken. So Grimgor might be taking back some of his territories. Alright, this is still happening, and oh... He's gonna go for Bitter Bay, the only, like, non-defended place. Yeah, well, whatever. Actually, this might be not the worst thing in the world. Assuming that he actually has anything other than Skaven Slaves in here, but if he takes this, he might actually build this up for us. I wouldn't mind, at the very least. Either way, Imrik, you've got a ways to go to Ruin's End, so please do. Arwenel, you are going to follow. We're going to trade Shambletown and Knobbly Gorge to Goldtooth, and hope that he can make some use of them, and hope he doesn't lose all his territory to Grimgor. Or else we'll have to send an army back here, but obviously we wouldn't be sending the, what's he at now? Strength rating 37, so not particularly good. Ooh, wait, what was that? What was that? Whoa, 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 whoa. Ice Core down to 0 settlements. Yeah, but that's pretty expected. From what we've learned from the Kislev campaign. Those are nothing alike. Oh, man. Is that the auto-resolve in this really dislikes Kislev for some reason. Like, really strongly dislikes Kislev. I'm not entirely sure why. Alright. Just out of curiosity, if we give you Knobbly Gorge, it's minus 4.7. I was hoping it would be enough to get that non-aggression pack back, but it ain't. Order of more Lore Masters ready to trade, but not do anything else. Not even non-aggressor or anything, but fine, we'll trade. Hyros won't be happy, but that's probably a good thing.
The Warden.
And I believe that's it. What is our relationship with Teclis up at now, just out of curiosity? It's 98 moving to 110. Alright, let's go to the court again. Bump it up a little bit more. Alright, this is now going to up to 150. Let's hope that that shall be enough. Ow! Or heard of the one I encountered. I guess our allies saw them. Oh wow, there's Skaven corruption in Port Jakova. Yeah, the Empire is probably going to be very much in trouble. I see a lot of Empiric corruption and chaos around there. Kislev is destroyed. Not looking so good for him. Potentially neat for us, though. Herathond and Co. You, I guess, are... Wait, we'll send Bel Herathoi in Noble Prestige to Scarpel. Ah, what? Whoa, 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 whoa. Do we have a fight on our hands? Yes, we do. That looks like a full stacky. Yes, yes, Herathond. You can properly make use of your... Wait, we got it. What was Marathi's defeat trait again? Forget about it. Was that the hero cost reduction? Yeah, hero action cost reduction, all characters faction mind. It's not horrible.
How can I assist you?
Eventually we'll be needing to use heroes for that purpose. So what we'll need to do, essentially, is make Marathi flee the battlefield, but not actually kill her, so that Belherathoi can kill her, and not Erathon, as he's already done so. Merchant Lord for you, sir. And Noble, guest retinue trainer. And I'm so glad we'll be getting a proper fight this turn. Earthblood and Earthblood and Life Bloom for you. Do we need to do any more items? I think we're okay, we're fine. Frankly, I'm sure Erathon's army can do this by itself without trouble. Well, maybe not without trouble, but nonetheless. We got some solid defenses, close victory and casualties low, but only due to the presence of our second stack. Away we go. Couldn't find Erathon there for a second. Anyway, here we go again. This one should be the proper debut we were looking for, as we got Marathi as a little reinforcement and a fairly solid and defensive stack in the enemy army. Decent amount of elites and other stuff. Plus, some very good positioning from the AI on their Reaper Bolt Thrower, which is firing down at our Eagle Claws in a nice little artillery shootout. Effective or not, those split-shot bolts do look really cool when they're raining down upon the enemy. Once again, not super effective against the Reaper Bolt Throwers, but there's a couple of units firing the split shot to attack the crew, while the rest of them fire the regular shot to try to knock down the artillery. Anyway, Marathi has moved onto the field, and we've seen before what the Eagles will do, as she's a fairly fragile lord that has low defenses, and she will quickly be forced off the field. I actually told all of our units to stop attacking her so that she survived, and hopefully we get her defeat rate again on Belherathor. The biggest threat from Marathi's stack is these units of Demonettes, which are surprisingly strong at knocking out the Silver and Guard. By the looks of it, they did get hit by a Doombolt as well, so that probably explains how they lost so much units. The Doombolt not only destroyed or heavily damaged the unit, but also damaged their formation, which allowed the Demonettes to close and to do much more damage than they perhaps otherwise would. Not to worry though, as the Eagles have landed to bail out and the Silver and Guard here, and the Demonettes will begin to melt away fairly quickly. All the while in our background, our Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers continue their fire at the enemy settlement. This is kind of ideal that we're able to deal with this little enemy army while we continue softening up the minor settlement over here. The enemy Reaper Bolt Thrower not quite dead yet, but will be done for soon, though it looks like this tower is now protecting it, and and this little tree. We're firing into the tree and they're firing into the tree. Okay, that explains why this thing won't die. Not to worry though, we don't necessarily need to use our own bolt throwers to knock it out, as the Eagles can simply fly over the walls and the cliffside to land in the enemy settlement. And there we go, that poor crew of the Reaper Bolt Thrower. And they were positioned so well. Anyway, time to begin destroying isolated enemy units in the enemy settlement, all the while raining bolts upon the enemy within as well. Though those don't do a crazy amount of damage to a single unit, especially a unit like the Executioners, it must be really irritating to constantly have to deal with those. And if the enemy blobs up, well, they'll take more damage. Anyway, gonna cast a Fiery Convocation upon a few of the enemy units, doing a little bit of damage to the Shades, but more importantly, taking about 80% of the HP off that unit of Executioners. Granted, I do feel that the mob of Eagles... is there a name for a group of Eagles? Must be. With the... Anybody know? What's the name for a group of eagles? I'm just gonna keep calling it a mob for now, or I guess I should call it a flock or whatever, but yeah, they rip everybody apart real quick, is what I was getting at before I got distracted by trying to think what the group name should be. Anyway, it looks like the Eagles have cleared about 3 of the enemy units, and here come the Silveran Guard to start pushing into the enemy settlement. They will be met by the Executioners, however, and that's not a great matchup. The great weapons, the anti-infantry, and the armor-piercing of those Executioners should allow them to work their way through a decent amount of the Silveran Guard. And that's why we'll need to move in the Eagles to help once again. As once again the Silveran Guard are here to hold the line, protect the artillery pieces, and allow the Eagles to do the work as the hammer. Or the talon, I should say. Alright, and it looks like those Executioners are done for, and near them were a unit of Bleak Swords and a unit of Dark Shards as well, and I guess another unit of how many Executioners? Oh, it's not just Executioners, it's Executioners and Pleasure Cultists. I saw the Great Weapon symbol and I assumed that they were all Executioners, but no, Pleasure Cultists as well. I don't imagine that they enjoy the bleed application from those Eagles all that much. And in fact, they will book it on out of there. Outside of Sigvold, though, I don't think any infantry runs fast enough to escape a Great Eagle. 169 move speed on the Great Eagles. Yeah, good luck with that. Actually, that's even faster than Sigvold. Go figure. Anyway, well, there is an enemy Medusa firing at us, and we do have to watch out for that railgun-like attack of hers, and we'll send all the Eagles at once to, let's see, take about half of her HP in a few seconds. And we should drop that Medusa relatively quickly. That said, there are other units in here. We're gonna, ooh, nice bounce on that Fiery Convocation. Going back and forth a couple of times to take off more HP from a unit of Bleak Swords and Pleasure Cultists. The Medusa is done, and enemy units are moving in just a little bit too late to attempt to deal with the flock here. And let's say the Eagle Blender will continue its work. Dragon Blender certainly did well, but I've been pretty impressed with Eagle Blender as well. If nothing else, because the Eagles are smaller models than the Dragons are, it does allow them to sort of mob up and have a lot more of the Eagle units attacking at the same time. Granted, with not as much damage as a single Dragon, but with lots and lots of targets. And clearly it's working well for Arathon. He knows what he is doing. Anyway, the enemy lord has decided to actually give us a fight in melee, which is a little bit surprising, as it's a ranged lord, and the enemy, or the AI rather, and does have a tendency to use range lords or range-capable lords in range and just sort of keep them back and standing rather than send them into melee. Considering that ranged lords do have a tendency to be a little bit lackluster in the damage that they're able to deal. Sorry, Wolfheart. I'm specifically thinking of you, but various lords generally. But anyway, we need give them and this particular range lord no further thought, as his entire army will shatter and the battle will be ours. Took a little bit of effort this time, and we're going to stay behind and get a few heals on that noble. Didn't need to use the reinforcements, but we do need to make use of that Earthblood in just a bit. I don't think anything will happen to him. We won't suffer attrition here, but who knows, why risk it? And just gotta get him enough HP so that he doesn't suddenly die to something. All right, beautiful. A great fight. I think we got what we wanted out of that, since I was waiting with, well, most of the episode for the Eagles to get their proper debut, and that was certainly proper. 20k to about 26k-ish damage on all of them. In terms of kills, it looks like this one got the most there. Silver and Guard did a little bit of work as well, though obviously not nearly as much, as the artillery were busy artillerying all over the place, and the Eagles eagling. Didn't need to use our reinforcing army really at all, and just gotta be careful with that noble who did get a little beat up, and I'll take a look at his items between the episodes. Anyway, Scarpel's Lair, we're gonna occupy ya, and let's see if we can't chase down Marathi with this little army and get that defeat trait. Lilith's Blessing. Yes, we can. Just barely, but yes, we can. And another Lichbone Pendant. Very, very nice. Don't really care about the Raven Keeper. Pigeon Plucker Pendant could potentially be useful later on, depending on if we make a full aerial army. And there we go, we do have profit now at last. I wish that Imrik had gotten it just a bit earlier when he was actually fighting, so he could take more advantage of it, but we'll use it to attack and destroy clan wars and hopefully make a ton of cash out of it as well. Now ransom those captives, Belherethoi, please, and you got that defeat Marathi as well. Nice. You cannot reach Plain of Dogs, but you can probably do so next turn. Stay in our territory. And is this our last territory? No, two territories. Huh. Where does she also have a territory? That's interesting. I don't know. Kotup's a little bit in trouble. These guys are, funnily enough, kind of liking us more now, but still not willing on this, huh? Yeah, well, either way, I'm not entirely sure where Marathi's last... Oh, it's right there. It's Shrine of Cain. Oh, right. I had forgotten that they had randomly taken it. I remember remarking on it once upon a time. Anyway, folks, with that, we are out of time once upon a time, so I'm going to call it here. Next time, we'll start the episode up by ending the turn and having Imrik attack ruins and with the piles of ogres and noblars there, and destroying it and then starting to move through the Morris territory. Once again, I may just send him through Nagashazar, because it would probably be a big ol' epic fight, and it would be on the way through to Misty Mountain where Clan Moors makes its home. We can... Oh! Would you look at that? Karazakarak? Oh, well, I guess... Oh, I guess we won't have the pleasure of destroying them. They're down to 4 territories, and Wurzag is marching through the mountains. This is actually quite nice and interesting, as Wurzag will inevitably declare war on us. The Lothern Seaguard army is going to have to hold the mountain passes from the high pass, most likely. Probably a good idea that we sent them up here, then. Alright, interesting times to come for this campaign as we head into our new wars and cross the mountains of Morn into the Badlands and the Border Princes. So stay tuned for all that. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.